Come on, energise us.
It's been very, very informal. Right, I wasn't exactly sure how to approach this really. This whole thing's kind of been a new experience to me, so that's kind of the message behind it really is, you know, don't be afraid to kind of go out of your comfort zone and try something different. So even me sitting here is doing that. If I was got asked to do this a couple of months ago, I would have point blankly refused to do it because I just wouldn't have thought I was kind of confident or in the headspace to do it. So it's basically about this little journey I've been on the past couple of months and how I've used kind of Iris to kind of help kind of develop that and the impact it's kind of had on my lessons and teaching. So I had no idea how to start it, so I thought I'd go for a little play on a Beastie Boys lyric. If you know the Beastie Boys. But they're not all bad, that's just, it linked into it. So basically it's kind of where I was kind of the start of this year, what kind of happened and kind of where I'm at now. So based on my observations last year, everything required improvement. So I'm on the PSP this year. I was getting kind of 5-minute drop-in observations and obviously getting regular meetings and target setting based on that. Where I thought I was Jonny in make-believe world. So based on the kind of the feedback I was getting, I thought I was kind of doing what I'd been asked to do. So I was getting feedback and I was like, well, I'm doing A, B and C. And I kind of had this vision of what I thought I was. I thought, well, why am I still getting requires improvement when I'm kind of doing what I've been asked to do and it still isn't good enough. So I thought I was kind of like this inspiring, cool teacher, and because I'm a bit quirky, the kids kind of were latching onto that, like, yeah, Mr. Wilson's lesson, blah, blah, blah. I thought I was making progress and I thought I was doing engaging lessons. But like I said, I was still getting this kind of same kind of feedback. Okay, it's not good enough, this needs doing, etc. So based on that, my kind of attitude changed a bit. I felt stressed out, I felt a bit depressed, my confidence took a massive nosedive. You know, I got to a stage where I was getting home and I was like, well, I'm doing everything I've been asked to do and it still isn't good enough. Is this really what I should be doing with myself? You know, it's teaching for me. And I didn't know how to improve, I didn't know how to progress. I don't know what it says at the bottom there. Isolated, that's it.
Oh.
So
You've been there too, have you?
Yeah. Yeah, so I just felt like I was a little bubble. I didn't kind of, you know, didn't feel like I could talk to anyone.
You talk to me.
Yeah, except for Jules, yeah, we're right mum. So, based on that, I needed to change something. So this is what I did at first. So, based on my first Iris, I'm going to be brave for you to show some clips. So I did my first one. Again, didn't want to do it, really reluctant, but bit the bullet. I kind of flicked through it. This is my year 11s. There's no sound, thank you. Obviously, any time you're going to use the camera the first time, the kids are going to kind of act up a little bit. They're going to look at it full faces, so you do get that. But yeah, it wasn't as good stuff. But based on this, what I saw, what I thought there was, I didn't see it on the screen. I kind of looked at it, I was like, well, he doesn't look inspiring. He doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. He's a bit of a bumbling idiot. So that, again, nosedived my confidence. And if you look at the kids, they're not engaged really. They're looking about, you know, Charlie's miles away. Yeah, so that was a real eye-opener. And I did a year 8 one as well. So based on that and another one I did, I had to be honest with myself. I was like, okay, I do need to change something. Because when you're getting observed and you get the feedback, you don't see yourself on that side. So, you know, you think you've got that idea of what's in your head and what you are, until you actually see it yourself. Yeah, you don't realise actually, yeah, what I'm getting told here is kind of right. So I continued to use the camera a couple more times. and got myself out of that isolated situation. So people I was getting feedback from, you know, I had to kind of just get everything off my chest and tell them how I was feeling, but obviously in a respectful way. So by having that open dialogue and asking for more helpful and informative feedback, things did start to change. Because I felt the feedback I was getting was always very negative. It's like, that's wrong, this needs to be better. Rather than, well, that little bit there had potential, maybe go off and try this. So I felt I was getting a lot of negative feedback, and it wasn't meant that way. That's how I was interpreting it. I didn't feel I was getting solutions, because I was going around, I was like, well, okay, I need to change this, but how do I do it? I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to change it. But based on that, big weight off my shoulders, kind of broke the lessons down. I was trying to kind of fix too much at once. I was trying to improve every aspect of the lesson rather than maybe just focusing on one bit at a time. So that's what we did. We chose one bit to look on. That was kind of the pace of the lessons. And we felt that the start of them dragged too long. I'll show you another example. So based on this observation, that's what we picked out as the focus point, was kind of the pace. So I think this will work. So this was a year 7 lesson. Even though I had a kind of start on the board and work out, again, I'm kind of stood at the front of the room, they're coming in. Even when I'm kind of going through stuff, you know, this group of girls here, they're not looking around, I'm not picking up on it. And it's just really slow, you know. You're 7 minutes in and still kind of chatting away and they're not really doing anything. So based on that, that's what we kind of decided to focus on. And then Pat put me in contact with Darren Ball. I don't know if any of you have come across him yet. And we had some meetings. Based on that, he was really helpful. He's been a massive help with me. So you know, if you get the opportunity to work with him, I highly recommend it. And again, he kind of was focusing on the positive stuff. Things like, well, tell me something good about your lessons rather than focus on the negative. So we came up with some strategies based on that to kind of get the pace of the lesson going faster. So what I did after that, again, changed my approach to the start of the lessons, and I'll show you the clip in a second. So completely kind of restructured. You know, rather than getting them lined up in silence, getting them in, getting them sat down, giving stuff out, which is really slow. You know, it's taken a few weeks to get them into it, but they know what to expect now. So they know they come for the lesson, the door's open, I'm at the door welcoming them, some kind of friendly comment or, you know, how are you doing, what have you just had, how did that go? Very structured starter on the board, so they know now they're coming, there's something on the board, something straight away for them to get on with. So I'll show you a clip based on that. So they're coming, I'm not even there, I'm at the door, I'm welcoming them in. I'm actually giving out post-it notes because I need that to help them with the starter. So I'm at the door, you know, Maureen, how are you doing, what have you just started, how did that go, okay, great. Bags on the desk, there's a starter, there's post-it notes, which you need for that. And on the desk I've got specific questions, which I'll show you in a minute. But straight away, because they're coming in dribs and drabs, they're not sitting waiting for everyone else to come in and get on. So, compared to the other lesson, which 7 minutes in, we're still sat around chatting. You know, 3 minutes in, they're doing something.
Yeah.
And tasks where I'm trying to get them to think about the lesson rather than me saying, this is what we're doing today, this is how we do it. You know, putting stuff out or starters or questioning which gets them thinking about the lesson. So we're doing some clay works, with all the materials and equipment out for the clay work. I had some example work from last year, and I'll show you the questions in a minute. But again, you go straight into it. And straight away around the table, and they're kind of dictating what they're doing. I'm not really saying much. I'm not saying, like, this is what we're doing today. I'm using questioning, and they're telling me what they're going to be doing. So that was the start I've had. And I also figured out how to embed the stop clock onto the slide. So before I was kind of going, right, you've got 5 minutes to do this, looking at the clock and kind of going,
12 minutes later.
well, that's about 5 minutes. So, you know, I can set this to whatever time I want, get it going. I've got it plugged in the speakers. When it gets to 0, an alarm goes off. So they know now when that alarm goes off, they stop, silent, and we're going to move on to the next thing. So that's the start, ultimately. That's basically what I explained there. Let's look at the equipment, and then I had some questions. So I had basic question, just had to kind of name the bits of equipment. And then a higher order one there to think about then how that could be used to make the example clay work on the desk. And again, it was like no hands up, no shouting out, I was just picking out names. So people I knew could answer the simple question quite easily. I'd target them first, and then maybe challenge some of the other ones to the other one. So the result of all of that then, you know, it's still ongoing. It's not everything's perfect still. Some lessons are better than others. I've been trying to do this with all my groups. Key Stage 3, they're getting greater now. It's comes to key Stage 4 who have been a little bit reluctant with it, but I think, especially the year 11, because they've had me for a year and a half of not having lessons like this, it's kind of like, oh, where's this come from? So, but they're getting there. But, you know, lessons are more engaging, learning environment's better, students know what to expect now when they come into a lesson. Key one here, which wasn't happening, you know, they're progressing, they're learning, you know, everyone's enjoying the lesson. They are, I am. Again, I feel less stressed, I feel confident again, I'm actually enjoying what I'm doing. I'm getting good positive feedback from students and staff. So Darren's been coming in and questioning the students, and they're giving positive feedback. And obviously I've got the learning award the other week as well, and my observations have improved.
Yeah.
That's it really, it's just kind of a little...